Welcome back to the streets where we keep it real and only shop at Suburban. My name's Urban Mahoney, and today we're reviewing Halloween. Again, 40 years later. This film originally came out in the year 2018. It was directed by David Gordon Green. Halloween, or more commonly known Halloween 2018, takes place 40 years later and is the start of the Blumhouse Michael Myers trilogy. And it ignores every other entry in the film franchise except for the original, which we covered last week. Today we'll be watching with the Halloween Trilogy Limited Edition Steelbook. This version has all of the Blumhouse movies, including Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills 2021, and Halloween Ends 2022, in a fantastic 4K steelbook. This steelbook is available to purchase on Amazon and other retailers, or if you were lucky enough like me last year, you find it in stores. Let's press play on Halloween 2018. We open up at Smith's Grove 40 years after he came home. Michael's doctor, Dr. Sartain, lets two podcasters interview Michael. Sartain took over after Dr. Samuel Loomis died. One of the podcasters has Michael's original mask, and he shows it to Michael, which leads to the loons going crazy. So crazy that we cut to a title card. We cut to Haddonfield at Illinois. The two podcasters show up to Laurie's compound of a house for an interview, which leads to us finding out Laurie had two failed marriages and a daughter that was taken by the state at age 12, who now has a daughter of her own. We then find out that Michael is being transported tonight. We cut to Laurie's daughter, Karen, and her family that consists of her husband, Ray, with peanut butter on his penis, and daughter, Allison. Allison and her friends Dave and Vicky are walking to school. When they get to school, we meet Allison's boyfriend, Cameron, who happens to be Lonnie Lincoln's son. We also meet Cameron's friend, Oscar. In class, Allison sees her grandma, Laurie, standing outside in a homage to a deleted scene from the original. After Laurie chats with Allison, we see Laurie at her compound doing some gun training. The two podcasters are listening to a recording of the late Dr. Loomis, saying the only way of stopping Michael is to kill him. We then cut to Laurie watching the prison transfer. Then Laurie drunkenly crashes a family dinner with Allison's boyfriend that ends with her leaving, and Karen explaining how traumatic her childhood was. A father and son are driving to a hunting trip and come upon some loons in the road. After the prison bus crashed, Michael kills the father and son before stealing their car. Deputy Hawkins gets to the crash bus and finds Sartain as we cut to October 31st, Halloween night. Michael watches the podcasters at Judith Meyer's tombstone. Then the podcasters goes to a gas station, and one of the podcasters goes into a bathroom, but is followed by Michael as the other podcaster finds two dead bodies, including one missing a mechanic's suit. Eventually, both podcasters end up in the bathroom fighting Michael. After seemingly killing both podcasters, Michael takes back his mask, and with the mechanic suit from earlier, the shape is alive once again. Michael runs into some kids trick-or-treating before he takes a hammer to a woman in her home, killing her. Then Michael gets his weapon of choice before sparing a baby and claiming another victim at another house. At the school dance, Allison talks on the phone with Vicky while she babysits a kid named Julian, who absolutely loves clipping his nasty-ass toenails. Allison sees Cameron kissing another girl as he flips the switch and becomes a total fucking douchebag and throws her phone in a bowl of nacho cheese. Back with Julian, he sees something in his room, so Vicky goes to look and Michael jumps out of his closet and chases Vicky before killing her. But Julian gets away after Vicky's boyfriend Dave goes to get Michael. Hawkins responds to a domestic disturbance call and he finds Vicky and Dave's corpses. Laurie turns out to be outside and runs around the house to find Hawkins. A little while later, Hawkins, Sartain, and Laurie show up at Karen and Ray's house to bring them to Laurie's compound. Allison and Oscar are walking home, and Oscar tries to get with Allison, but she isn't comfortable, so she leaves Oscar in a backyard to go home, and it leads to Michael chasing and eventually killing Oscar. But Allison hears everything and meets face-to-face with Mike. Hawkins and Sartain find Allison to bring her to Laurie's compound. A little while later, they spot Michael and run him over. After Hawkins gets out to get Michael, Sartain stabs Hawkins in the neck, and Sartain puts Michael in the back of the cop car with Allison. Then Sartain runs over Hawkins while heading to Laurie's house. On the way to Laurie's house, Michael wakes up and uses his pure brute strength to get out of the cop car, which gives time for Allison to escape, and it leads to Michael crushing Sartain's head. Later, we see Ray going outside to talk with the cops, but finds their dead bodies. Then Michael strangles Ray to death. Laurie sees Michael outside, so Karen hides inside the bunker. Then Michael and Laurie finally have their altercation, and it ends with Laurie shooting Michael in the hand. Michael breaks in and Laurie goes hunting for him. Then Laurie finds Ray's dead body before Michael and Laurie fight again. This time it ends with Michael pushing Laurie out a window. But when Allison gets inside, Laurie disappears like Michael did in the original. Karen brings Allison inside the bunker. Then Michael's able to break into the bunker. Karen breaks down crying to trick Michael, which works, and Karen is able to shoot Michael. And then Laurie appears from the shadows and traps Michael in the bunker before lighting it and the house on fire. We see all three generations of Strodes escape. Then in the final shot, we see that Michael isn't in the bunker anymore. This movie completely amplifies all of the best parts of the original Halloween movie and fixes almost all of my problems that I had with it. First off, I liked the cast a lot. And I also liked the concept of what happened to Laurie Strode after he came home. Dr. Sartain was actually amazing. He was probably my favorite part besides Michael. I loved that Michael's evil spread to him, to the point where he was down to kill a police officer just to keep Michael alive. Not to mention that Michael's unrelenting power has grown in the last 40 years, and whose brutality was crazy and unlike the original. Every kill was amazing, especially Sartain's head stomp. Side note, everything involved with Laurie's compound was really cool to me, and my favorite part was when she was clearing the rooms and then dropped the cages down after she checked so Michael couldn't sneak up behind her. I really liked that, and I thought that was kind of smart, especially when in horror movies, they can be stupid for the sake of more kills. Now I think it's time to go to... Overall, I really enjoyed this movie, and in my opinion, it's miles better than the original. With that being said, I give Halloween 2018 4 stars out of 5. This is the Halloween movie, and I can't wait to watch the next one. Don't forget to tune in next week for our review of Halloween Kills. See you then.